All right. Well, thank you. As Kim said, I know it's a beautiful night out, so we appreciate this. We're going to take 30 minutes of your time. And really, this is a culmination of everything we've done with Winter Streak at this point. So whether you attended, this wasn't letting me do this last time. Hold on. Sorry. I'm trying to advance my slides and it's not working.
There
we go.
Yeah, there you go. Sometimes there's a little bit of lag.
Sorry. So, yeah, so welcome. Today I'm really wrapping things up, but if you didn't attend any other ones, that's fine. I'm ultimately talking about tips and tricks to help you maximize your health through healthy choices and behaviors. And I'm also going to wrap up with some exercises that you can do at home with no equipment or equipment if you have it, your choice. So my name is Melanie Wells. I'm the Community Wellness Coordinator at WellSpan Good Samaritan Hospital in Lebanon. I'm also a former health and phys ed teacher. And as you may have heard on in our earlier discussion, I also teach yoga and other fitness classes as well. Bear with me. Okay, so for today, for this evening, our objectives are to learn the importance of consistent healthy choices, learn ways to increase daily activity, and learn how to safely exercise at home. So first and foremost, you matter and what you do matters. Getting into that mindset, whether you believe it or not, whether you have advocates on your side right now, you matter and you have an impact on the people that you interact with. That being said, it is so important that you carve out time for self-care. Self-care is not a one size fits all. It is very individualized. So thinking of things that bring you joy and help you promote a life of balance could be something such as gardening, could be taking a walk. Maybe you're somebody that likes to snuggle up with a good book on the couch. Take a hot bath, whatever it is, but knowing that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So find things that are specific for you that bring you joy, that allow you to fill up that cup. We've all probably set New Year's resolutions, right? So thinking about what is that end product? What is it that you want? We know that come January 1, we usually use that as an opportunity for a fresh start, a clean slate. But rather than working those New Year's resolutions, instead of thinking about what do I want you to think about who do I want to be. So looking at the end product, which might be, I want to lose weight, I want to save money, I want to be a non-smoker, right? Those are the end products. But shifting your perspective and how you start to change lifelong patterns of behaviors, who do you want to become? So let's just use the example of I want to lose weight, right? So you've all heard the importance of living a healthy lifestyle, managing your weight, keeping off the excess weight. We know that it's going to help lower, it may help lower your blood pressure, excuse me. It may, it's going to give you more confidence. It's going to give you more energy, probably help you sleep better, reduce your risk for chronic illnesses and diseases. The list is long, right? So using that example of I want to lose weight. So shifting from I want to lose weight to I want to be a healthy person, and then starting to think about what are the behaviors that a healthy person is going to engage in every day and starting to implement those into your daily lives. So I want to lose weight is just one aspect of living a healthy lifestyle, being a healthy person. You know, it might be also including things like managing your stress, being more physically active, right? So get rid of the New Year's resolution. I want to lose weight. Forget about the end product, right? The end product is important, but actually what those become are action steps along the way. But thinking, who do I want to be instead? Getting started. So here are some tips with getting started. As I said, with New Year's resolutions, a lot of time we think about, oh, January 1 is a great opportunity for me to restart, reset. Monday is a great time, right? You have a bad weekend, maybe you indulge, maybe you go on vacation. But as soon as you have that motivation and say you want change, you want to change who you are, want to change your lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, when I say this, I'm not saying you're a bad person and you need to completely change who you are, but by changing that mindset and thinking of being a healthier person or whatever that might be for you, right? It just means you're going to be more conscious of the choices that you make every day. So if tomorrow you say, you know what, I want to be a healthier person, right? I'm just saying, tomorrow morning you wake up and you say, I want to be a healthier person. What actions can you engage in that day that are going to reflect those behaviors of a healthy person? So taking an extra walk over your lunch break, cutting out those extra sugary beverages, taking time to, write in a journal, better manage your stress. Use the motivation that you have in that moment to get things done. A lot of times we say tomorrow, we're constantly chasing tomorrow. The reality is tomorrow is always tomorrow. It's never today, it's always tomorrow. So knowing that in the now, there's no better time, you have that motivation, it's there at the forefront. So start making those changes immediately. Do what you can and do it now, right? You may be somebody that has never exercised a day in your life, and that's okay. But know that if you've never exercised, you're not going to likely sign up to go to the gym and go to the gym 3 out of 5 days out of the week. It's just, let's be realistic. That's like going from a small molehill to going to a mountain. So if you've never exercised a day in your life, how can you start to implement those little extra tasks? So the extra walk, moving during commercial breaks, rather than spending 2 hours after dinner sitting on the couch watching TV, how can you engage in those behaviors? There's no, I want you to think about doing 1% more tomorrow than you did today. So constantly looking for one more thing that you can add on to and build those healthy habits. They don't have to be large milestones. You're not jumping from, here to way up here. You're taking those little steps, gradual steps, which will help you be more consistent and also be more successful. And that goes into the next part, saying that the small steps do add up. When you're talking about, or when you're thinking about your health and well-being, I want you to almost think about your wellness, your optimal health, right? We have one body, one life. Think about the investment as a bank account, right? So you want to deposit more than you're taking from your bank account. Ultimately, you're going to overdraft it. What does that look like? That might look like excess body weight. That might look like more doctor's visits, more expenses in your healthcare costs. So, if you can put those little milestone wins in your bank account, you're able to draw from that. Now, that does not mean you can't out exercise a bad diet, right? So if you love chocolate chip cookies, which I do, I can't eat chocolate chip cookies every single day, right? But if I know I'm going to indulge, like it's my son's birthday and he loves chocolate chip cookies, I'm going to bake them. What investment can I make into my bank account or my healthy living so I can enjoy those chocolate chip cookies sporadically? Okay. The other thing, don't compare yourself to others. We're all unique individuals and we all have this invisible backpack of resources that we carry with us all the time. That being said, some of us have more resources and accessibility that allow us to become that healthier person or whatever that goal might be, to become that individual faster than the next person. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. The idea is that you're increasing that pattern of behavior, you're improving that pattern of behavior a little more every day, and you're consistently moving forward. And then knowing that any type of change is hard. We didn't get to where we are today in one day, right? So if you're 30 pounds overweight, you didn't just wake up today, this morning and say, wow, the scale jumped 30 pounds. It became those consistent patterns of behaviors that you've made all the time. I don't know who was cooking, but I did see somebody cooking. And that is an example of, that's something that we do subconsciously, right? If you tend to cook, how often are you tasting the food while you're cooking it? So you're getting all those extra calories. You're not even thinking about it, right? You're just tasting it, making sure it tastes good for your family before you put it on the table. The other thing that a lot of us have a tendency of doing is sitting down on the couch, watching TV. And rather than take out a serving size of something that we like, a snack or whatever, we take out the whole container and then you're mindlessly eating, right? It just becomes that subconscious behavior. So knowing that it's going to take time and effort, it's going to require consistency, but be kind and gentle with yourself because it didn't happen overnight. If it wasn't hard, we wouldn't have obesity and chronic diseases would not be an issue in our society, right? So be kind, be gentle. If you fall down or you have a setback, it's fine. Dust yourself off and keep moving. Every morning you have two choices: continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them. Are you a doer or are you a talker? Some days it's way easier to be a talker than it is to be a doer, right? It's hard to find that motivation, but you have to get out of that negative self-talk. You have to you have to push your excuses to the side, right? If you really want to change patterns of behavior, that desire to change has to outweigh those excuses. So, I mean, most of us have the tendency of being our own worst critic. So it doesn't mean bully yourself, negative self-talk, tell yourself you're never going to get there. You will, but you have to, again, go back to that first initial question. Who do I want to be? What type of person do I want to be? And what are those behaviors I can do today that are going to help me get me there, right? So it is really a journey. It's not a one size fits all. You're going to make a decision today that's going to directly impact and improve 30 years of bad behaviors, right? So just, again, it really comes to a lot of that mindset and making sure you know who you want to be. And if you have that slip back, you just go back and reevaluate and decide where you need to go, what choices you need to make tomorrow. Today, not tomorrow, today. Tomorrow never happens. All right, move more, eat less. So a fun fact or reality is that 1 pound of pressure is 4 pounds of additional pressure on your joints, or 1 pound of extra body weight is 4 pounds of pressure on your joints. So if you're 10 pounds overweight, that's 40 extra pounds of pressure on your feet, your knees, your hips, your back. So just want you to imagine going to the store, unless you're used to picking up dumbbells, go to the store, pick up a 5 pound bag of rice or a 5 pound bag of flour, and imagine carrying that bag of flour around all day. Eventually, you're going to get tired. You're going to feel the weight of that on your body, especially if you're holding it in your upper body. It's going to affect your posture. It's going to affect how you move throughout your daily life. But then just for a moment, think of setting that aside, like, oh, that relief of letting that weight go, right? And you can even visualize it with something that's weighing you down, like you need to make an important decision and you haven't. The weight of the world coming down, and it affects how you feel, your mood, your confidence, your energy level. And then when you take that weight off, you stand a little taller, you stand a little prouder. It's the same thing with, when it comes to that extra body weight on your body, right? Once you start to shed it, and it's 1 pound at a time, right? It's not you go from 0 to 10 in a week. That's not healthy. Half a pound to 2 pounds per week is healthy weight loss. But it's those consistent behaviors. So how can you look at that rather than just look at, oh, I'm going to eat less? It's really a combination of those consistent behaviors. So move more. How can you move more throughout your day? I talked about getting up and moving during exercise breaks. Maybe you're used to sitting down after dinner for 2 hours. Rather than doing that, can you form a new habit where now that the weather's getting nice, it's staying lighter longer? Can you get out and take a 10-minute walk after dinner? Help digest that food, feel a little bit better, help manage your stress when you're walking. The nice thing is once you start moving, you're going to release those feel-good hormones, those endorphins, that once you start, you're probably going to want to keep going. So in the wintertime, I love to do calf raises when I'm pumping gas. Not that I can't do it in the summertime. I just tend to do it more in the wintertime because it's cold out. And when I do those standing calf raises or toe presses while I'm sitting there, my entire lower body gets warm. Now with the pandemic, well, who knows what's happening with the pandemic, but we are seeing a shift. We spend a lot of time on technology. But if you are back in a workplace, rather than sending those emails that we've been accustomed to doing for the last 2 years, can you get up and walk and visit that person and have a face-to-face? Skipping the drive-through, not pulling up to your mailbox at the end of the driveway. Can you pull into your driveway or your garage and then walk down and get the mail? So all those little things, again, investments into your bank account, working towards optimal health or a healthier lifestyle. And then eat less. Yeah, that's easy to say. Just in general, a lot of us have a tendency of eating more calories than we expect, especially when we're not measuring out our food or using proper serving sizes. Using teenagers do this. My son does this, uses a big salad bowl to pour cereal. He probably has like 3 or 4 servings of cereal in that salad bowl, right? So he's not worried about it because he's more active. But now that I have a more sedentary job, I really should be measuring out what I'm eating because I'm not moving as much. But really looking at the value, the nutrient value in the food that you eat. So eating less processed foods. When we go to the grocery store, you may have already heard this. When you walk up and down those aisles in between, that's where a lot of the processed foods are. So if you can spend your time when you're grocery shopping, walking the perimeter where you have your fruits, your vegetables, your protein, your dairy, right? Again, going back to, I think I was talking about sugary beverages. We have a tendency of drinking our calories. There's a lot of calories that add up. You're drinking sodas, you're drinking juice, you're adding creamer to your coffee, you're drinking milk, and you're drinking 2%. There's a big difference in 2% milk versus fat-free milk, right? We're not going to get into all that, but just being more mindful of what you're putting into your body and trying to do more. Food is fuel, right? And that is included with the things that you're drinking as well. So when you're eating, if you have a tendency of eating out of boredom, right? Sitting down, it's just habitual after dinner, you sit down, you grab a bowl of ice cream, right? Are you actually hungry? Or is it more that you have a craving, so that you're bored? Maybe you're at a work event and there's just food, people are bringing food in. If you're not hungry, what I would suggest, even before you make that decision if you're hungry or not, can you distract yourself? Can you drink a glass of water? Or can you walk the stairs, go outside, take a breath of fresh air, go get the mail? Anything that's going to allow you to distract yourself long enough so you can actually decide, are you actually hungry or are you just eating out of boredom? So again, looking at trying to balance those things out as far as a scale. If you're able to move more and eat a little less, and it might just be, one less cup of coffee with creamer in it. It might be one less soda every day, whatever you can do to find that balance. All right, and then tips for success. So this is in everything, talking about maximizing your health. It's in everything. It's not just from the nutrition standpoint. It's not just from physical activity. We're talking about stress management. We're talking about finding things that bring you joy, whatever it is that are going to allow you to engage in those behaviors to become the person that you want to become, rather than looking at that end product. So tips for success. First and foremost, do what you enjoy. I talked about, you don't like the gym, don't go buy a gym membership, because the reality is you're probably not going to use it, right? But now that, again, the weather is getting nicer, it's getting brighter out, there's a lot of things that you can do. If you love gardening, can you spend an extra 10 minutes out in the garden? If you are a social person and you love talking to your friends, rather than, emailing them or going on social media, can you schedule a get together, an activity date with them instead? If you like to dance and you live near neighbors, close those blinds. If you're embarrassed to dance in front of your neighbors, close those blinds, turn on the music and set a timer. Do it for 10 minutes, or better yet, that timer goes off and you're having a great time, just keep going. As I said, with getting with your friends, get others involved, and know that I do understand that some people are socially isolated. They may not have a partner at home. Maybe they don't have pets, but you can look at a variety of things. Here at WellSpan, you have myself, you have Kim, we have our entire community health and engagement team. Honestly, your hairdresser might be a great person for you. Maybe they're allowing you to manage your stress just by releasing some of that information. And then you might connect with them on another level. Next, dressing the part. So this goes for anything and everything, really, I feel. If you are going to get hired for a job, you're likely going to put some time and effort into what you wear. So you walk in feeling good about yourself. You look good, you feel good, you stand a little taller, you probably talk with a little bit more assertion, right? Same thing goes when it comes to your goals. What I would suggest, if you want, not that you have to invest in it, but maybe put a little bit more time. You might have, this old raggedy t-shirt, and that's your t-shirt that you usually work out in. Well, can you find a different shirt that's going to make you feel better, rather than just, this old raggedy thing? Because if you feel better, you're going to give more of yourself. So dressing the part. That also being said, life happens. And I really like to suggest to individuals that if you have a tendency of putting off exercise, if you put it till the end of the day, life happens and gets in the way, and you never actually engage in it. Again, you get pushed, I'll do that tomorrow. Again, you're chasing tomorrow. So what can you do first thing in the morning? Is there the ability for you to engage in some type of physical activity first thing in the morning? You could be stretching your bed before your feet even hit the floor, setting out your clothes so they're right there, they're accessible before you even start scrolling through email or social media. Put those clothes on and get up and get moving, right? Starting your day in a successful way is going to make you more successful and more conscious of the decisions you're making throughout your day. Hydrate and fuel your body. I already talked about, the importance of, really fueling that body. And also the part that a lot of times you might think you're hungry, and actually your body's actually, you're dehydrated, right? So something we did in the military, not that this was a choice, they told us we had to do that when I was in basic training. We weren't allowed to drink anything at our meal until we had a glass of water. If you have the tendency of not drinking water, you don't like water, it is super important to get it, especially when the warmer months heat up. You get distracted. Can you make it a point every meal? That's all you can do, right? 3 8-ounce glasses of water a day. Can you do that every day at every meal? Maybe having a glass of water first thing in the morning. That is really good for helping with digestion, and really helping move that lymph throughout your body. The other thing, fueling your body. As I said, walking the perimeter. If you go to the perimeter of the grocery store, that's where you can really build that healthy plate. So focusing on getting that protein. Your protein should be 3 ounces. That's half of your plate. And then the other half of your plate should be the fruits and vegetables. Knowing that your body really is a machine. You're not going to put diesel into a car that requires gasoline, and vice versa. You need to put in the proper fuel so your car or body functions optimally. And then listening to your body, staying with this car analogy, I love to use this. A lot of us, we're busy. So we tend to live life on autopilot. But if you slow down just a little bit and listen to your body, as I suggested with when you think you're hungry, you might think you're hungry, but actually you're bored. If you slow down long enough and distract yourself, you will actually start to recognize signs in your body. This can happen. I know sometimes when I'm craving something, like usually when I'm starting to feel a cold or something coming on, I'll crave orange juice. And a lot of times it's that extra vitamin C and other nutrients that come from it that my body is craving. I don't drink orange juice every day, but I have a tendency to desire it when I feel that cold coming on. And then record progress. So the older we get, the wiser we get. Maybe in our teens and 20s, we might have been more likely to jump in the car and take a road trip without a road map or any plan whatsoever. But as we've gotten older, a little bit more wiser, we know that's probably not the safest bet. And actually it's probably going to cost us more than if we slowed down and took time to plan our route, right? So know where you are now, right? And take an inventory. Kim talked about this in one of our other presentations, but take an inventory of where you are now, and then start to record the progress along the way. You kind of create that roadmap. You're here at point A, you want to get to point B. What stops are you going to take along the way? And the reality is you might end up hitting a roadblock, right? Maybe you hit a path, you go down a path that's not really working for you. You need to reevaluate and maybe devise another plan to get around those obstacles. And sometimes you have to face those obstacles, know that they might be a setback, and that's fine, but you just dust yourself off and keep moving. You have one bad day, you eat a bunch of junk, and your body's going to tell you it doesn't like those choices that you made, but slow down, listen to it, take note of how you feel and how your body and mind respond to it, and keep moving forward. You don't have to make those same mistakes the next day. All right, so home exercise. I'm gonna get you moving through some physical activity, nothing major. We're not gonna use weight, but know that you can actually create your own resistance just by creating a little more visualization and resisting gravity. So as I'm pushing down, I can actually engage the muscles, the triceps here, where I can add a little bit more resistance. Think of moving through tar, think of moving through quicksand, whatever is gonna add that added resistance. Can always use weights. If you don't have weights, you can use soup cans, you can use water bottles, anything that you would like to do. And if you've never exercised before, start with body weight. That's all you need, right? Just anything that's going to help invest in that bank, get you moving more. So first and foremost, make sure you have a safe space. I tuck my dogs away, otherwise they'll be under my feet while I'm moving. Use what you have. You don't have to go out and buy fancy gym equipment. You don't have to spend lots of money. There's plenty of things that you can do. Those of you that like to garden, you might be able to find a nice big boulder that you can use for some walking squats or lunges. Give yourself time. You're not going to get from point A to point B if you've spent the last 30 years, spending 2 hours at a time on the sofa, right? So just start where you are. Give yourself the time, be kind and be graceful. However, don't let those excuses or that self-talk get you out of it. Let your desire for change be greater than your excuses. Listen to your body. Know the difference between pain and discomfort, right? If you've never exercised, you might feel a little more discomfort than normal, and that's okay. And then do what works for you, right? It's not a one size fits all. You start small, you do what works for you, and do it in the time that works for you. That being said, we're going to go ahead and move. I'm going to stop sharing here. So again, just giving you a few, I'm going to give you a few exercises that you can do at home. Some things you can even do at your office space if you're sitting at a desk, right? I know if you tend to sit 2 hours or more at a time, it almost, I don't want to say it cancels out being active, but it still increases your risk for chronic illness. So if you can limit it, the number of hours that you're sedentary, the better off you are. So let's just stand up nice and tall and just start to bring some movements into our shoulders, doing some big circles, fast or slow, doesn't matter, big or small, up to you. And then take it backwards. Good. And then if you were sitting at a desk chair, we're just going to work on creating some of that counter posture, right? So we have a tendency sitting on our computer, bring your hands underneath your chin, interlace those fingers on an inhale, look up, push the chest forward, arch the back, draw your shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, contract and round, draw those elbows towards one another. So a little modified cat-cow here. Inhale, open up and lift. And exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Go ahead and take a few neck rolls here, nice and slow. Take it easy. If balance is an issue, make sure you have a sturdy chair. You can come to seated. And then reverse it. Again, there's no rush to get anywhere. So just be mindful, listen to your body, let it guide you. No race. All right. From here, go ahead and extend your arms out side to side. And we're just going to start to reach side to side, working on those obliques or love handles, open up, creating some space. So everything that we're doing, you can do from a desk chair, an office chair. You can do it at the dining room table. You can even sit on the couch. I don't necessarily recommend that, but scoot forward on the couch. So reaching side to side. Good. And hold it there. Coming into biceps, triceps, front of the arms, back of the arms. Inhale, lift the arms up, bring them to your shoulders, rotate those palms down, and then press your palms towards the ground. Inhale, squeeze them up. So we have a bicep curl, then we have a tricep extension pushing down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, down again. You're adding some of that resistance, thinking of moving through quicksand or tar. Just add some resistance. From here, let's go ahead and reach overhead. If you're standing up, go ahead and tap out to the side, move your feet, lift them up, protect those hips, protect those knees. Just pushing side to side, lengthening the side body, bringing that oxygen to those muscles. It's something fun to do. Again, you can do it seated, but if you have a tendency to get that afternoon lull, right? Get up and move just a little bit, doesn't have to be anything big or fancy. All right, from here, we're gonna go ahead and draw the knees up towards the chest, lifting nice and tall. And whenever you are moving, I recommend that you have a sturdy pair of walking shoes, something that you can lace up or strap, that make sure that no hanging shoelaces. And also making sure you have that rubber sole. Good. And then from here, you want to challenge yourself, stretch those hamstrings. You can take that leg straight and give me a few toy soldiers, working the core, working those obliques or love handles, side to side. Nice and easy. And then coming into those calf raises, I said I like to do at the gas pump, or you can do these while you're washing dishes. Coming on, holding onto a chair for balance if you needed, pressing up through the toes, especially the big toe, and then hold at the top for just a second. And once you get really good at this, you never have to touch the heels down. You can keep those toes lifted the whole time, lowering down just a little bit, but keeping the heels off the ground, side to side. Good. All right. So those are just some easy movements. I know that was kind of a whirlwind. Those are some easy movements that you can do at any time. You don't have to carve out a lot of time. Just doing 1 or 2 of those rounds during commercial breaks is really good and allows you to invest into your bank account. All right. Bear with me. So that really does conclude our presentation. I don't know what's happening here. There we go. But I do want to share with you. So we just launched, WellSpan just launched our 10th anniversary of our 10-pound throwdown. It is a free virtual program. Even though it started on Monday, you can register at any time. Looking for that added support, we provide resources for you. We give you a little bit of education. We do have a weight tracker, and we recommend badges or challenges each week to get you living that healthy lifestyle. You can register at 10poundthrowdown.com. And then in addition to that, we also have Prevent T2, so that's type 2 diabetes. We have that starting on Monday, April 12th from 10 to 11. And then we also have our Get Healthy Now, which really is more in-depth conversations of some of the things we've already covered through Winter Streak. So with that, I thank you very much for your time, and I will pass it back over to Kim.
Thank you, Melanie, again for an amazing presentation. Certainly, if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to unmute or put them in the chat. I've not seen any come through in the chat. Just a point of clarification, Prevent T2 is for anyone who has struggling with pre-diabetes. So just want to make sure if you're registering for that class, that if you already have T2, that's not the class for you. I'm not seeing any questions pop up in the chat. So with that, thank you again for your time. It is the last workshop of the Winter Streak series. I appreciate seeing all of you over and over again over the last 3 months. We're grateful for all the time you've spent with us, and we hope that we've provided you value and have gotten you jump-started and ready to tackle spring and more healthy eating and healthy movement. Enjoy the night and have a good day. Well, good night.
Thank you.
Take care.